The movie opens with a warm family scene. William Duncan, a loving father and husband, is celebrating his daughter Kat's birthday with his wife, Jen. Kat is their pride and joy, and you can feel the bond this family shares. The dialogue between them gives us insight into Kat's ambitions. She's an aspiring softball player, but her parents have bigger dreams for her. They want her to study law. This tension adds an interesting dynamic early on, as Kat promises that she'll find a way to balance her athletic dreams with her academic future. You can see William's deep love and protective nature over his daughter in every interaction they have. But, while this happy moment unfolds, there's a darker world running parallel. Enter Donnie Fetter, a hardened gangster who runs the criminal underworld with his two sons, Rory and Danny. Donnie's ruthless character is revealed early on when we see him punishing a man who crossed him. He's now grooming Danny to become just like him, pushing him to make his first kill. The contrast between the Duncan family's simple, peaceful life and the violent, dangerous world of Donnie Fetter creates an unsettling feeling that danger is lurking. And soon enough, these two worlds collide in the most tragic way. Kat finishes a softball game and is picked up by her father. The father-daughter bond continues to shine as they talk about life on their way to grab tacos. It's one of those simple, everyday moments that are bittersweet in hindsight, because we know what's about to happen. As they arrive at the taco stand, William leaves Kat in the car while he goes inside to order food, asking her to stay put. At the same time, Rory and Danny are nearby, with Rory pushing Danny to make his first kill. The pressure on Danny to prove himself is intense, and Rory gives him the target, Kat. When Kat notices the two men approaching, her instincts kick in, and she locks herself inside the car. But, this doesn't stop the inevitable. Rory gives Danny the gun, whispering words of encouragement. Though she pleads for her life, Danny pulls the trigger. The shot echoes through the night as William, inside the restaurant, hears it. This scene is heart-wrenching. The cinematography slows down time, capturing William's disbelief as he rushes out to find his daughter's lifeless body. He's too late. The grief and shock are palpable, as William holds Kat in his arms, his world shattered in an instant. Next, we see William and his wife, Jen, at the hospital, waiting for news that never comes. Kat is gone. The scene of William calling the ambulance, helpless and desperate, transitions into a grim hospital moment where the reality of their loss sets in. Jen's anguish is silent but overwhelming, while William's expression turns from sorrow to determination. He wants justice. We soon follow William to a meeting with the prosecutor, who informs him that while Danny has been arrested, the legal system has its hands tied. The case against Danny is weak, no witnesses, no murder weapon, and William is the only person who can testify. The prosecutor suggests a plea deal, 5 to 7 years in prison, maybe even less. It's a gut punch for William. This is not justice. His daughter's life was worth more than a few years behind bars. But what happens next shocks everyone. During the trial, when William is asked to identify his daughter's killer, he claims he doesn't recognize Danny. This stunning twist leaves the court in disbelief, and Danny walks free. Rory picks him up outside the courthouse, gloating, unaware that William's decision was not a surrender to the system, it was the first move in his plan for revenge. From here, vendetta shifts gears. The tone becomes darker as William transforms from a grieving father into a man consumed by vengeance. He begins to stalk Danny, biding his time, waiting for the right moment. The tension builds as William's once calm and collected demeanor starts to unravel. His military background begins to surface, and we learn that he is no stranger to violence, having served in Afghanistan. When William finally confronts Danny, the scene is brutal. He corners him alone, and Danny recognizes him in a moment of terror. William, filled with rage, uses a baseball bat to beat him to death. It's a scene that's not easy to watch. The cold, methodical way William executes Danny shows that the once gentle father is now a man driven to his breaking point. As the blood dries on his hands, William returns home, trying to clean up the mess, both literally and figuratively. But you can tell, the act of vengeance weighs heavily on him. That night, he breaks down in the shower, his tears mixing with the blood-stained water. It's a powerful moment, showing that even though he's avenged his daughter's death, the violence has scarred him just as deeply. The Fetter family soon learns about Danny's murder, and Rory, fueled by rage, vows to hunt William down. What follows is a tense game of cat and mouse, as William knows they'll be coming for him. There's a scene where Rory gets a tip-off from a prostitute who recognizes William, leading to a dramatic confrontation outside a cafe. William narrowly escapes, but not before engaging in a brutal fight with Rory's men. Detective Chen, who's investigating the escalating violence, starts to suspect that William is involved in Danny's death. There's a scene where Chen visits William's home, asking probing questions, but William denies everything. The dynamic between these two characters adds another layer to the film, as Chen represents the law that William has abandoned in favor of his own brand of justice. Jen, meanwhile, grows increasingly worried about her husband. When she finds out the truth about Danny's murder, she begs William to leave with her, to run away before the violence consumes them both. William agrees, but just as they're preparing to leave, Rory and Donnie strike. The home invasion scene is devastating. Rory and Donnie break into William's house, killing Jen in cold blood. William is shot and left for dead, but once again, he survives, driven by sheer willpower. As he crawls toward a phone to call 911, the camera lingers on his agony, both physical and emotional. Jen's death is the final straw. There is no turning back for William now. The movie builds to a climactic showdown between William and the Fetter family. After escaping from the hospital and gathering weapons with the help of an old acquaintance, Dante, William returns for one final battle. In a dramatic sequence of events, William takes down Donnie and several of his men in a bloody shootout, but Rory remains. The final fight between William and Rory is intense, filled with emotion and years of pent-up rage. Rory taunts William, believing he has the upper hand, but in a shocking twist, William stabs Rory in the neck with a screwdriver. The scene is raw and visceral, as William watches his daughter's killer die in front of him. As the police arrive on the scene, including Detective Chen, William's journey comes to an end. Chen, who had been watching from the sidelines, reflects on the cost of revenge. In a bittersweet moment, William succumbs to his injuries, but he dies knowing that he avenged his family. The name of the movie is Vendetta. Comment any movie you would like me to recap, like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.